Welcome to the David Game College University series of podcasts. And today I have with me one of the most famous universities here in the UK, Royal Holloway, which is part of the University of London. And with me is Dr. Stella Tian, who is the regional manager for East and Southeast Asia. And that also includes United Kingdom international students, so at schools and colleges who are studying here. Stella, welcome.
It's a pleasure. Nice to be here, Theo, and lovely to have a tour around David Games. Such a wonderful experience looking at all the fantastic facilities here in central London.
Thank you.
And learning about the history of the tower, like the wall, the Roman wall that extending from Tower of London all the way here to your campus.
Wow. Well, I'm impressed because you were listening to me. Well, today's podcast, we're going to focus on two things. One is the university, and then we're going to talk about how our relationship with David Game College has sprung up and been successful. Now, if we start with the university, Royal Holloway, as with the word royal in it, is part of the University of London. Tell us a little bit about the history of the university.
Yeah, like you said, we're one of the famous ones, and we have a longer name probably compared to other universities. And the whole reason is the history behind. So we are actually founded by two set of founders. One is Elizabeth Jesser Reed. She is an innovator and social pioneer at her time. So back in 1849, she created Bedford College in central London. For example, George Eliot was an alumnus, studied there. Then Bedford College has been part of Royal Holloway ever since, which now is our central London campus. And then we have the Thomas Holloway, Jane Holloway couple who decided to make the most use of their wealth. So they founded Holloway College back in 1886, and that becomes our main campus based in Egham, Surrey. Mm-hmm. And the two colleges joined University of London separately by themselves in the 1900s. So both belonged to University of London for a long time until 1985, when they both decided to merge and become nowadays Royal Holloway University of London. What we are really proud of as part of the history is that we are one of the first to offer female-only higher education degrees in the UK.
That's very interesting, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So for example, the first generation of female doctors, nurses. I heard one of the female professors that later on went to Harvard University have all been our alumni during that really revolutionary years. One of the famous suffragette, Emily Welding Davison, she was also alumni. So it's kind of the pioneering time. We carry on that social purposes until today.
Wow, that's so interesting. And I think our parents and students who will then come to our college to study and then want to progress, they're always interested in tradition, but in quality, and also they look at rankings as well. So I know that Royal Holloway is quite well respected, both internationally and also within the UK market. Tell me a little bit about their rankings and their USPs.
Yeah, well, ranking. So if you look at the latest stats, we are number 34 in the UK by the Sunday Times. And then we are number 35 by the Complete University Guide. So that's UK league tables. If you look at international league tables, we are 461 on the QS 2026 university, world university ranking. So apart from the overall ranking, for example, we have some niche subject. The Department of Music has climbed to the 7th place in the Complete University Guide 2026. And if you look at the latest 2025 QS subject ranking, we have quite a few subjects ranked top 100. For example, performing arts, number 30 in the world, and geography, number 51 to 100 in the world. So we also have others.
You have music as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Which is the 13th in the world, is that?
Yeah, so music as part of the performing arts.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're like 2025, they're number 30 in the world.
Wow, incredible. You were going to say something about the history.
Yeah, so I also need to mention the reason we have royal title is because Queen Victoria gave us the royal charter because she actually was there in person for the opening ceremony in 1886 in the very famous Founders Building, South Squat. We have the pictures, black and white, of her hosting the ceremony. I suppose because of the social purpose, because we really help educate the women of the country, and made her proud as well, and award us the royal title. That's why we are called Royal Holloway, University of London.
Excellent. And I know because I have been to Royal Holloway, you invited me, and I think for international students, it's probably ideally located. It's next door to Heathrow Airport. You're only about literally 15 minutes away from all the terminals, which is so convenient. So tell me about the student population, and both domestic and international, and any key subjects.
So at the moment, we have 12,597 students full-time, and out of them, 10,397 are UK, 394 are from European Union, then we have 1,808 from outside of European, but like international students.
Right.
So if you look at the percentage, I would say international students accounts for about 21% overall number.
Excellent. And are there any specific national groups which are attracted to Royal Holloway?
We actually have a very good mix. So we rarely see a dominating kind of nationality. We might have like a few countries who send us more students, but overall, I found our student mix is really good. If you want to count top 10, I would say maybe India, China, then Europeans, Americas, kind of a good mix.
That's quite interesting. That's good. And so we are talking about USPs. Apart from the rankings, obviously, there's the student life, the accommodation, and the support they get from teachers. Tell the parents a little bit about how good you are at that.
I'm gonna tell you like things I heard from our students, not that we are bragging about ourselves.
Of course.
So a lot of students told me, I'm so glad I have chosen Royal Holloway initially, because first of all, we're mid-sized. So they found that they get to know everyone so well. They really felt they joined just a big family. They know their peer students, they know their alumni, they build network like so easily. Nowadays, if you go to a much bigger university, maybe that kind of experience is not as strong. And also, they feel that the tutors are treating them so well, like their own children, because again, the staff and student ratio is quite good. And they feel like they stay in touch and they get contacted by their academics quite often. Whenever they have problems, they approach academics and they get feedback as soon as possible. So that kind of support is really, really important when they're developing themselves. Imagining you're international, you know nobody, kind of warms the community feel. It's so important to help you get settled.
Absolutely. And I think the other factor I think is important for even parents when they send their kids abroad is When they complete their studies, what support is there for post-study work, employability? How good is the university to help them?
We are very good at that in terms of like putting our student at the heart of it. So we really want them to succeed because they're like our children. We're not like, we don't have massive numbers, right? So everyone matters. So what we do is we have a central career team that hosts over 1,000 events every year.
That's incredible.
Whether in person or online, and they really facilitate our current students to have conversations with employers, with alumni, with some panelists, with industry experts, so that they really build a confidence and they get to know more about job market. At the same time, we have a lot of departmental kind of themed career support that comes from each department. So on top of that, like students can go to maybe a themed week. For example, this week is for business, next week for creative, the third week for engineering. So we have a lot of themed activities. And in terms of standard career services, students can go there and get all like for free. That includes all the resources and one-to-one workshop or one-to-one sessions, workshops that help you build your CV, build like your confidence, and mock interviews. You can request that. And part-time jobs, like a lot of students want to build experience before they hit that last bit. They want part-time jobs first, and then the career service center is there for you.
Good.
And a lot of courses, especially business, computer science, they definitely offer a year in industry option.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's like an integrated degree, a 4-year degree.
Correct.
Yeah, with the 1 year in industry.
Yeah.
I think that's quite popular. I think a lot more popular for international students because obviously some don't want to stay after so they can gain experience, or some gain that experience and then the employers want them to continue afterwards.
Absolutely. For computer science, over 75% of those who have joined the year in industry later on got hired.
Excellent.
At the same company. That's massive.
Well, I think that's an important point for parents and students to listen to because it's getting very competitive out there as far as employability is concerned, not only in England, but throughout Europe and the rest of the world.
So not only the current student will enjoy the career service, alumni, as long as you graduate within 2 years' time, you can enjoy exactly the same career service for free for up to 2 years. So that's a huge benefit, and we believe a lot of alumni, recent graduate, will come back to the career service. And some of them even stayed in touch for over 10 years. When they're at their own crossroad, they still sometimes come back to their own tutors or the staff who originally guided them. So that just described the community feel, the family feel that Royal Holloway has always provided.
Absolutely. And we have developed our alumni association as well. And we have an event every year, which our old, even the number one student who studied in 1974 always comes to our alumni association. And it's a pleasure. There's one area, obviously, that is as important. I know that parents say, oh, I'm sending my child to the university to study. But there are other factors that build up the skill set of an individual, and that includes things outside of academia, such as clubs and sports. Do you promote that within the university, and are they active? Are you successful in any particular sport?
We do, yes, we do actively promote that because we found a lot of international students nowadays, they actually are looking at those elements because university is far bigger. It's to develop your academic and personal growth. So we have over 130 student societies that includes different aspects, sports. So we have over 40 sports clubs.
Wow.
From all sorts, archery, although not like standard ones, and some like horse riding as well, skiing, so some
Incredible.
interesting ones. Then we have hobbies, and then we have some of them are academic. For example, Shakespeare Club or music club. They organize their own performance. They rehearse together. Computer clubs is one of the rare one. So I've never heard like computer science society. They actually create their own company, and they actually work with clients.
Really?
Project.
So they have a startup company, yes.
Our student can make pocket money out of it.
That's incredible.
That is incredible, and they learn a lot as well, like build the skills.
Of course.
Yeah, so that is, so I think overall the variety of the societies are quite popular. At the same time, I found some of the sports clubs are quite supporting in terms, if you are at athlete level, we do, I think every year, a lot of European students may come to us and say, I'm already playing in some games quite well, and are you able to sponsor me? Our sports team will do their best either to provide scholarships or to find them other like resources locally or nationally to kind of as a springboard for them to perform. Definitely, they're like the expenses to attend competition abroad will be covered.
Of course, very good, excellent. And I think there's one area we haven't covered, which is very important for parents and students, depending on the level of study they want to achieve, and that is the cost of studying. Tuition fees and accommodation expenses, because thank God you're slightly outside of London, so it's slightly cheaper. Tell me what the fees are and the fee structures are.
Yes, so we have a look at the current year 2025 September intake, and the average tuition fee per year for both undergrad and postgrad is around £26,000. So if you put that in a Greater London perspective, that's quite good. Some of them obviously will be lower, as low as 23,000, and the highest might have been those engineering ones because that includes the use of facilities, all of that. So it might be as high as 28,000. Yeah, but the average 26,000 on tuition.
So, if I may interrupt there, do you have any scholarships at all for students, or whether it's a regional scholarship or a scholarship based on their academic ability, or the dean or the chancellor's scholarships?
We definitely have a lot of merit-based scholarships. I think we have over 30 of them, and the money ranges from I think 3,000 to 10,000. And there's a variety, and they're provided by the university. But we also work with a lot of sponsors and external bodies to offer additional. One of the ones is these. We are part of the University of Sanctuary, kind of the network, and then it's the kind of sanctuary scholarship for like refugees or students from those backgrounds. Yeah, so that's again linked to our social purposes. We really want to sponsor students who need those. We recently launched one with Duolingo, and it's also again for students who have been displaced and they want to get scholarships to universities. So we're really proud. We're one of the first to secure that with a sponsor.
Excellent.
Postgrad, luckily this year we have a £4,000 international student fee reduction. So that's like automatic. It's better. Yeah.
Very good.
So, yeah. And upcoming 2026 intake, we will introduce something similar for undergrad international students. Stay tuned.
Very good. So, the accommodation, can you tell me what types of accommodation you have, on campus, off campus, and the cost?
Yeah. In terms of accommodation, they're all on campus in the main Egham campus. So they're all like within 10 minutes walk to the academic buildings. And in kind of, I would say there's a whole range. The cheapest one for undergrad is, I think, just over 4,500 a year. Well, let's say the cheapest is £4,500 a year, which is a shared room in the founders building. I think the most expensive is only just over £8,000 a year, which is en suite. So that's for undergrad.
Yes.
So if you look at that, we are enjoying the out of London benefit, isn't it? You won't get that in London.
True.
That's for undergrad. For postgrad, because their lease time is longer. So undergrad 38 weeks, postgrad 50 weeks. So you just add another 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So postgrad would be up to, I think, nearly like 9,000, kind of 9,500 kind of range.
Excellent. Again, yes, as you correctly said, if you're in a major city, it's more expensive than being slightly in the suburbs. Good. So we've covered all the aspects of, say, the experience of the student. Are there any standout courses that the university really is strong in research or has an outstanding award? Tell me about those key ones.
So our computer science department, in particular, an area called information security group, they are really the guru of the information security, cybersecurity world.
Right.
A lot of professors are like written the textbooks, or they are the ones who developed the algorithm in the very first place. And the cybersecurity courses were ranked the most popular, the best cybersecurity course in Europe. And they work with a lot of stakeholders, such as the government or big company, develop like the next generation of security standards that has a great impact for the society. So I would say they have won numerous awards. So that would be one that we're really proud of. Then our geography department, they're very active in climate change kind of areas. And they research into biodiversity, environmental, all those areas. So and also I think their research has been involved in the making of standards and laws for Europe, like for biodiversity.
Excellent.
Yeah. And the psychology department are doing the same, very competitive, and some of the academics being awarded, like the one of the teachers of the world, teachers of the UK, I think this recently. And obviously we have a lot of professors who are kind of being given the award for their long-term service in their own society in certain areas. So there are quite a lot of those that we're really proud of.
Great. Well, I think we've covered, I think, most of the benefits of studying at the Royal Holloway. And I want to now come to the second part of our podcast and to talk about David Game College and to talk about how our relationship has been built and how we've developed our progression agreement for the University Foundation program, and just to see how we will build this for the future. So let's tell our parents and students a little bit about the relationship between the two institutions.
So I've been with Royal Holloway for over 3 years. And when I came in, I know we already had a long-standing relationship with David Game. So I believe Royal Holloway's always value the collaboration with David Games in early days, and knowing David Game has students with really good academic capability, some of them really high caliber, and also we know they will shine at Royal Holloway and onwards. So that's my understanding. It started from a long time ago, and it's going very strong, and it will continue that way.
I think that's important for the parents to know that we're working closely together, and we're trying to develop other things like joint offers, and we're getting all those so that parents know that we're all kind of embedded with the university. And for us, it's important as a college for the parents and students to know that, yes, Royal Holloway is a partner of David Game, and our students are capable of entering and achieving their dream of being with the university as long as they achieve their grades, which is always the important aspect of success with the university. obviously, as a college, we have partner universities, and we're quite selective as well. And we're pleased that Royal Holloway is part of the family, because we value not only because of your traditions and so forth, but because of the importance of the ranking as well of the university. Some of our parents and students obviously look at the rankings, and it's important for them to feel comfortable that when they go back to their own country, that obviously employers there know that, oh yes, they're from Royal Holloway, or universities of that level. So we're pleased, and we thank Royal Holloway for being part of us. I think before we finish, is there anything that you would like to say just to summarize your experience here today with us on this podcast?
First of all, I have to say, I didn't expect to see so many artwork on your walls, in your corridors, even in the canteen, everywhere. That just reminds me of our picture gallery, where our founders, Thomas Holloway, collected a lot of famous paintings, great artwork. It just infused us in art, in creativity. And I can feel the same here, because your founder, David Game, Mr. David Game collected those by himself. So that's like such a coincidence and such an interesting experience to walk around. At the same time, I feel like we both value quality. So we're definitely the type of education providers that prioritize quality over quantity, like for long term, always been. So we do want to see success from each student, bring the best out of them. I think that's why this year our slogan was like, for what matters. So as long as you have your passion, do what matters to you, come over, and we will kind of support in the best way we can. So I think for that kind of student-centered approach, the value is really why we bring, like, it brings us together. And at the same time, we always maintain our academic excellence. I can see it from smiling faces. Students just finished their courses and then coming here for lunch with smiles. I can tell they had a good time in the morning. And many of them are international. You hear so many languages. So I can feel David Game is a place where I'm really comfortable sending my child to. I can see student progress to Cambridge, to a lot of top ranked as well. Of course, I want some of them come to Royal Holloway, but I know you would always kind of match them to the most suitable ones. Absolutely. Where like it matters the most for their future success.
Absolutely, Stella. And no, I thank you for obviously taking the time to come to the college. And we look forward, obviously, to seeing you soon at our education fair in October. You and your colleagues, they're most welcome. And I'd like to thank everyone that's listening today. And for any further information that you want on this podcast or any other podcast, please go to davidgamecollege.com. Thank you so much, and look forward to the next University Series podcast. Goodbye.